Did you know that just a few decades ago, North Korea was actually richer than South Korea? In the 1950s and early 1960s, North Korea had more factories, more industry, and better infrastructure. But today, the difference is shocking. South Korea is now one of the largest economies in the world. Its economy is worth about $1.8 trillion. Meanwhile, North Korea is one of the poorest countries on Earth. The average person there earns only around $600 to $700 per year. So what exactly happened? How did two countries that started in similar conditions end up so different? To understand this, we need to go back to the beginning. In 1950, the Korean War broke out. The war divided the Korean peninsula into two separate countries, North Korea in the north, South Korea in the south. Both countries were devastated by war. Cities were destroyed. Millions of people were killed. But after the war, the two nations chose very different economic paths. North Korea built a socialist system controlled almost entirely by the government. South Korea slowly moved toward a capitalist economy connected to global markets. At first, North Korea actually developed faster. With support from the Soviet Union and China, the North rebuilt its factories quickly. For a while, its economy looked stronger than South Korea's. But things began to change in the 1970s. South Korea started opening its economy to the world. The government invested heavily in education, technology, and manufacturing. It also encouraged companies to export products around the globe. This strategy helped create massive companies known as Chaebols. These companies include Samsung, Hyundai, and LG. They became global leaders in electronics, cars, and technology. As these companies grew, South Korea's economy exploded. North Korea, however, took the opposite path. It followed an ideology called Juche. Juche focuses on self-reliance and strict government control. Private businesses are extremely limited. The government controls most industries. This system often reduces competition and innovation. Without innovation, economies struggle to grow. Another big problem is isolation. North Korea trades very little with the rest of the world. South Korea's trade with other countries exceeds $1 trillion every year. North Korea's total trade is only a tiny fraction of that. When a country is cut off from global markets, economic growth becomes much harder. International sanctions also play a big role. Because of its nuclear weapons program, North Korea has faced heavy sanctions from the United Nations and many countries. These sanctions limit exports, imports, banking access, and foreign investment. This makes it extremely difficult for the country to grow its economy. Another reason is military spending. North Korea spends a huge portion of its resources on the military. It maintains one of the largest standing armies in the world. It also invests heavily in missiles and nuclear weapons. But money spent on weapons is money that cannot be spent on schools, hospitals, roads, or economic development. Over time, this slows economic progress. Meanwhile, South Korea kept investing in education, research, and technology. Today, South Korea is one of the most advanced economies in Asia. Its GDP per person is over $35,000. North Korea's estimated income per person is less than $1,000. That is one of the largest economic gaps between neighboring countries in the world. Poverty is also widespread in North Korea. Some estimates suggest around 60% of the population lives below the poverty line. Food shortages are also common. The country often struggles to produce enough food for its population. Sometimes, it depends on international aid to avoid famine. Meanwhile, South Korea has become a highly developed country. It has modern cities, advanced healthcare, and one of the most educated populations in the world. Today, South Korea exports cars, ships, electronics, and advanced technology across the globe. North Korea's economy, however, still relies mainly on mining, agriculture, and limited manufacturing. Much of its trade also depends heavily on one country, China. In the end, the story of the two Koreas shows how economic choices can shape a nation's future. North Korea chose isolation, centralized control, and heavy military spending. South Korea chose global trade, education, technology, and innovation. The result is one of the biggest economic contrasts in modern history. Two countries. One shared history, but two completely different economic futures.